Previously on Taverns and Caverns. The party returned to New Tempest and exchanged their well-earned star metal ore for the promise of two newly crafted weapons from Barsora. One longsword for Thaddeus and one rapier for Damien. Alaric and Thaddeus had also split from the party to visit the Church of the Octatic Divine, in which Alaric came across some interesting rumors about vampires potentially being in New Tempest. Once the party reconvened at Barsora's, they made their way to the Adventurers Guild to speak with Emon Vanelis. Emon discovered some potential issues taking place at a secret research facility that of course he wants the party to investigate. Coward, why can't he go himself? Communications seem to have been disrupted between him and the facility, and he's unsure of what may have happened, which is why he's sending the party to investigate. We've been through enough, but we ain't no hoes, so yes, we'll go. Meanwhile, Alaric didn't attend this meeting, and if Emon could have given him detention for his absence, I'm sure he would have. Anyway, after we left the meeting, the party decided that they'd help Alaric search for potential clues regarding the vampire's whereabouts in the city. However, they'd have to come up with a way to leave Thaddeus out of it. I mean, you know he's a snitch. I'll tell Emon for sure. Episode 23, Fang-tastic Investigations. Path A.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns, Path A. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. And last time on Path A of Taverns and Caverns, the party had returned to New Tempest and provided that star metal ore to Barsora. And in exchange, they will be receiving two new weapons in the next couple of days after they are crafted. A longsword for Thaddeus and a new rapier for Damien. And after meeting with Barsora, the party headed back to the Adventurers Guild to speak with Emon Vanelis since he was searching for them. And while they spoke with Emon Vanelis, Yatari had left the party to return the rented ox cart. And during their discussion with Emon Vanelis, they came across some information that some of the researchers in a research facility that Emon currently controls has gone silent in communications, and this research facility is what houses some of those remains of Xandos the Dragon Lord from Season 1. Emon is a bit worried that there has been no communication coming back from the research facility, and he's afraid that it potentially was found by some cultists of the sorts, or maybe raided by bandits or whatever. But he is going to be sending the party to investigate the research facility, which is about a day or so outside to the north of New Tempest. But at the same time, prior to meeting with Emon, Alaric and Thaddeus had visited the Church of the Octatic Divine, and during that visit, Alaric found out through another cleric when he was shopping for some items that there are some rumors about a group of vampires that might be in the city of New Tempest, which has caught Alaric's attention. So Alaric has relayed that information to the party, and he is wanting to try and gather some information before the party leaves the city the next day to go to the research facility. Now, Thaddeus has been left out on this information that the party wants to try and gather information. And Yatari is also unaware because she has not returned yet from returning the ox cart. But we left off the party still at the Adventurers Guild, I believe. So we'll pick up right where we left off at the Adventurers Guild. You guys were huddled after having that discussion about looking up vampires. Thaddeus had walked off to the bar. He was having a drink, so he didn't hear much of that information. So, not much time has really gone since, or has gone by since. What do you all do?
Thaddeus didn't hear us, though, right?
No, he was at the bar. He walked off willingly. There's still a couple adventurers here in the Adventurers Guild. It is, getting closer to the night. It's late afternoon, early evening, so you don't have a lot of time to really do this. The mission ahead of you is to leave the city in the morning, hoping to return in the next couple of days so you can pick up your weapons from Barsora. But at this time, I don't believe Thaddeus had heard any of that. At
Did we
least-
catch Isundra up on the plan that we were sneaking out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was you, Alaric, and
Yeah.
Yaito.
I was thinking we
yeah.
were all still huddled up, aren't we?
Yeah, I
Or
believe.
about just
I believe.
Well,
so.
yeah. Then I popped out of the huddle and was like, and then he wasn't there because I was gonna talk shit.
Yeah, you popped out of the huddle momentarily, but Thaddeus was already at the bar.
Yep.
Not too far from you guys. And remember, last session, Thaddeus also had a one-on-one discussion with Emon Vanelis.
No, we remember.
Oh, we know.
Right. That's why we huddling.
That's why we
not.
huddling.
Oh shit.
Why we're sus on him now.
I
Damien.
know.
Damn.
What time is it?
It's I said late afternoon, early evening. I'd say, probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock, almost dinner time. The sun's still out, but it won't be out for much longer.
All right. Do we all want to get Thaddeus a couple more drinks than normal to make sure he sleeps harder tonight and doesn't look for us? Or do we not want to risk him being hungover in the morning? Or it doesn't matter because he's a warrior. He's gonna have to go anyway, and it's not our problem.
Well,
We
in
just
the
got a
group
little.
chat, he was asking for that dragon's grog, so I mean, we could.
That was Yalar.
Yeah, that was Yalara asking for a dragon's grog.
It was just swamp water.
Yeah, y'all can't believe what Nomu and Yalara are up to right now. Fucking shenanigans. Meanwhile, y'all searching for vampires.
All right.
I would agree with the ingesting him with more ale just to make sure that he's able to sleep soundly tonight while we investigate.
Wow, y'all trying to Cosby Thaddeus. That's messed up.
No, we not. And you need to get out of our mouth. All right, so
This is just Rod talking.
Well, we're going to have to buy him drinks because he didn't even have enough money for the boat, so.
Damn.
This
I'll be
Yeah.
joking over here.
Man, I'm about to give him some out of my personal stash.
Do you think he will be suspicious of us? Perhaps,
Maybe. I won't
Maybe.
push too hard though.
maybe one of us can keep him busy while the others investigate. Perhaps I can stay and maybe keep him occupied with stories of Ashai.
Sure. And then we can go around and see what information we can get before it's too dark. So we've already got a lead up when we sneak out. Objections?
I think it's a good plan.
Okay.
What about
No
Yutari?
objections here.
Wait, is she here?
She is going to meet with us soon, yes?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, we've put her in the middle of enough, but I don't mind. I don't think she'll tell Thaddeus. She's not even a member of the guild. And this isn't a guild responsibility. So, yeah. I say we bring Atari in on it. Should we wait for her?
Perhaps she was going to meet us after she returned the ox cart. She should be here soon.
Wait, how long ago was that?
I don't know. The DM says maybe about an hour ago.
Okay, well, she need to hurry up.
So,
I don't want Thaddeus to actually see us leave though, because then he's gonna want to ask us where we're going and stuff, and then I'm gonna have to lie and do stuff to back up my lie. It's just a lot of work anymore.
well, where are you going to start your investigation? The quacking donkey?
Damien looks at Alaric. Well, this is your mission.
So I wanted to investigate where the people were disappearing, perhaps one of the townspeople nearby, where the other people were missing, might have seen something.
All right.
So we will just talk to random residents then.
Yes,
Cool.
residents and I'm sorry, where's the location that the residents have been disappearing?
I forgot.
So if I remember correctly, I don't think the cleric specifically gave you like exact locations. I think from what I remember, was there were rumors that people have gone missing and some people have spotted some shadowy figures throughout the night, kind of just throughout the city. I don't think I gave you like specific coordinates or anything like that.
Okay, I have an idea then. So, like, we could, I would recommend us like searching through like dark alleyways or passages that have a lot of darkness, because then, perhaps people around might have suspected anything, or we could see one of the vampires creeping up near the night before anything starts to happen where it's too dark for us to really see anything.
Okay. Well, we act natural until Yutari comes, and then he kind of points toward the door. Shweet, we're
Oh.
out of here.
Okay, so game plan is I will keep Thaddeus occupied with stories of a shy. I will just
In the
say,
event that he's done with the guild and he wants to leave or something, we need a backup plan.
well, I will just say that the party, you all went to get some drinks, you went to visit some friends, maybe do some shopping, and then you will meet us at the inn tonight, next to Quacking Donkey.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so I will keep him busy, and while you look for this vampire.
All right, I'm counting on you, Yaito.
Of course.
I know that you're a sweet guy, but you're not the most exciting. Spruce the stories up a little bit. Lie if you have to. Keep them engaged.
Hold
Keep
on
him on the
now.
edge of his seat, wanting
Damien,
more. I mean, your
Damien.
life is interesting.
I am
I
from
don't think he
Ashai.
knows your backstory.
Ashai
but-
is very exciting place. I
I know,
learned.
it's just when you get on the topic of tea, I start to, my eyes get heavy.
Would you rather I talk about the yaksha of Ashai, the corrupted demons and monsters? I did learn how to use and maintain and control my magic by the earthly sky dragons.
I mean, he's a warrior. He might be into that.
That's
Not
what
to
I am
mention-
saying.
Yeah, he might have some crazy stories too about that cult his brother was in.
Oh yes, this is true. And the warden Ashai is very crazy.
This is a good opportunity, actually. Damien starts rubbing his chin. Yeah, we need to get intel on him too. It's not like we really know this guy. He's meeting up with guy in secret, who I also kind of don't trust. I mean, he's never been that aggressive before. He was really
Or-
mad at Alaric missed that meeting.
Perhaps I can try and pull some of this information out of him after he has a drink or two.
Or 6.
Or 6.
Kaito's being influenced by Damien. I don't know.
No, he's doing espionage work. He's doing very important things. Yes, this is good. This
You
is
gotta,
very
you-
good.
in other words, Yaito is trying to prove that he's a ride or die.
Oh, don't say that.
Companion.
It triggers me.
Hold up now, Alaric. I am already a ride or die. Elroy was my boy.
Stop.
Meanwhile, while you're all having this discussion, you all see Yutari walks in. I won't make you make perceptions because, I mean, it's obvious that she steps through and she waves you guys down and she walks up to the group. Hey, guys.
About time. How long does it take to return an oxen? Yeesh. Okay, listen. So, catch you up. I don't trust Thaddeus.
Why?
We'll talk.
What did he do?
I'll catch you up later, but
Do I need to shank him?
no.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Keep that in the back of your mind, though. We never know how things will turn out. But listen, Alaric says that at the church they spoke of people going missing, potentially vampires, shadows, basically all the same stuff we've kind of dealt with before. Creepy
Vampires?
shit. But maybe. We don't know for sure, but no one's trying to do anything about it, man. They're just going to leave these people to keep disappearing. It's not really our job, and I feel like...
Wait, is this a quest from the Adventurers Guild?
No. It's a stick it to the man. Somebody's got to help these fucking people quest. You know what I mean? So
there's vampires in New Tempest?
again, I don't know. We're gonna have to go gather some intel, but
Oh.
we might need you tonight.
She rubs her chin. Well, the
You
good
might talk-
news is, the good
Oh.
news is, when you first met up with me, you were looking for information on werewolves. Well, in that same book, I happened to read some information on vampires. I don't know a lot about them, but I do remember some information about them. They're very tricky creatures. It's a good
Oh,
way to
yeah?
put it.
Anything that you think may help in a fight?
Holy water. Do you have holy water? Can't go wrong with
That
holy water.
that's a Desone question. But
Actually, I have I actually have acquired plenty of holy water for us, so
oh,
we should
wonderful.
be fine in case we encounter any.
So we just throw it on them like acid?
You can. It does hurt them. It won't necessarily kill them, but it can hurt
All I
them.
need is an opportunity.
That's all you need. And of course, sunlight, but obviously we can't control the sun.
Hmm.
And I just need you guys to know, she puts her hands up in front of her face. They are not, despite what everyone says, according to my studies, they are not allergic to garlic and onions. So don't even bother wrapping that around your neck. You'll just look like a fool.
I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm not saying I was either. Might be some, uh, some new species that have come out. You never know. But thank you for the intel.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we're gonna have Yaito keep Thaddeus busy
Okay.
as long as possible. We just don't want him potentially leaking this to Emon. He's his right-hand man, and he's a first-class suck-up.
Oh, he's one of those.
Yeah.
He's a bootlicker?
I think so, but the jury's still out on it. I don't know a lot about him yet, so I'm hoping Yaito can help us out with that.
Oh, trust me, Yaito has this under control. You all have fun looking for these vampires. I hope you do not come across one. That would be an issue, but if you do, hopefully you can slay it.
Now, I'd be mad if I did all this and we didn't find anything.
I mean, this is a very big city. Coming across a creature of the night might be difficult.
Yeah, but trouble has a way of finding us, so I'm feeling confident.
Okay, well. So you all already spoke with Emon then? What did he need?
He said that all of his communications went silent and he wants us to go and investigate. But
Ah,
he had a suspicious sense of urgency about it that really made me uneasy. He was very on edge. He was very short with us. And very bad Alaric missed the meeting.
you
I
missed the
Atari
think
meeting?
wasn't with us whenever we saw the dragon bones, right?
No,
No.
I don't think she
Okay.
was.
No.
I don't
Did
think
we
she
tell
was.
her about it?
Yeah, because at one point she did have to sign the contract.
Yeah, she had some information on it, but she wasn't there during that whole reveal. That was Yaito and Elroy. And I think maybe Rogar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
can't remember if he was being controlled then or not.
yes, actually he was. Rogar was being controlled at that time. Yes. But yeah, Yatari was not there for that. Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, so Yaito, you keep Thaddeus in check. I guess what, we're meeting back with them at the inn later tonight? Is that the plan?
Yeah, that's what he's gonna tell him.
Okay. All right. So are we trying to sneak out? How are we doing this?
I mean, not casual. I'll give you guys a signal. And then, we'll all leave at different times. We don't want to leave in a group, it'll be too obvious. I got a
Yeah.
feeling he has a high perception.
Yaito will raise his hand. Okay, let me go and have a seat with good old Mr. Thaddeus, Faust the Third. I will have discussions, and while he is talking to me, you may take your leave. Yaito turns around. He's going to walk over to where Thaddeus is. Thaddeus, you're still at that bar having your drink, and you see Yaito. He just pulls up a stool, sits right next to you, and he raises a hand as the bartender asks him for a drink, and he's ordering himself a drink. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the other party. So you see Thaddeus and Yaito sitting at the bar. Their backs are to you. You're trying to leave one at a time? Is that what's happening?
Hmm. I mean, I'm gonna look at them because I said I was gonna give them a signal. I guess I'll roll a stealth, should I? Or
Yeah, you can.
Okay, that's really good.
That's a 20 stealth. That's high.
So, I kind of look. I put my cape up a little bit, like the collar up on it, and I kind of motion behind my head with my fingers toward the door, just like ever so slightly, and then I just start walking quickly. But I'm like not taking the fastest route, but the route that has the most people. So I'm just kind of trying to get lost in the crowd and then leave.
All right, so after you leave, what does Isundra and Alaric do? Do you guys kind of do the same thing?
Tundra is going to attempt to be stealthy.
I better roll that stealth.
She's just kind of following cues.
All right, that's a
Oh, it's
15.
fine.
That's
15.
good. What real quick, Thaddeus, what's your passive perception?
12.
All right, you don't notice Isundra leave either.
Nice.
Nice.
Thought Isundra was gonna have to make up some excuse.
Oh,
I was getting ready in my head.
So Isundra just walks out normally, casually, but not
She's-
obvious, right? So
She's like hiding behind people. She's doing like that like cartoon thing where you like see him like scoot up real close behind someone and then like behind someone else. She's trying to be like Damien, but she's not good at it.
okay.
Good enough.
Okay. And that leaves Alaric.
Alaric
Are you?
Silverwind.
Yep.
Let's see if I can be stealthy too.
I remember, if you want, there are spells you can cast to help with that if you decide to. But by all means, up to you.
Checking to see if I had any stealth spells. I'm not sure if I do.
You might have something called, I believe it's Cat's Grace, which is a ability modifier spell that increases your dexterity, possibly. But other than that, that's all I can think of for you. But off the top of my head, anyways.
We're just gonna roll the dice and
All right.
hope that RNG is on my side. So
RNG Jesus. Oh,
Okay.
We are dedicated to the cause. So
You are dedicated for this vampire hunt. Jesus. So that's definitely higher than a 12.
we out.
So Alaric, how do you
Okay.
step out? You just casually walk out, passing your cloak off to the side.
like my robe just like I just blend in with the crowd. As soon as I step behind one person, I'm gone. You don't even see me.
Damn.
All
So
right.
I am the knight.
I am the knight. I am Batman.
Literally a Twilight cleric.
Right. Twilight cleric indeed. All right. So that
So
leaves
Damien's-
Atari.
Oh, she's still. Oh, yeah.
1 second as I get her character sheet up. Let's
Didn't even
see.
notice her come in though. She should be able to get out
Right.
real easy.
We'll see. We will see. Let me make a roll here. Where is her stealth? There it is. She's got she's fine. She got 16. So, Thaddeus, you don't realize that any
The
of
whole
them
crew.
step out really. And we'll say this part of this is thanks to, Yaito. He's pulling up, grabbing that chair next to you, ordering a drink, and he just looks at you. So, tell me, Thaddeus, what kind of adventures have you had?
Over the years, I had plenty of adventures. Some good, some bad. Best to categorize them as before the academy and after the academy.
Well, it seems that you have this very strong and long friendship or connection with Emon Vanelis. It seems to have worried the party a little bit.
I can understand that it could seem a bit brown noses, but I am loyal to him because he gave me a chance where others wouldn't, given my past.
I understand this and I respect this. But there has to be a fine line between if you are snooping on us and reporting back to your boss on everything we do. That is not the case, is it, Thaddeus?
I mean, he just asked for a report, as he stated the first time we met, and I actually put in a good word. I actually state my reputation on how good you guys are.
Well, you have my respect, Thaddeus. What you did for Isundra was very honorable of you. Not many people would do that. Uh, Giving their life to a fae for whatever the fae requests, you must do. It is like a contract. There's no escaping that, yes?
I do whatever it must take for vengeance of those robbed of their good fortune, and what greater loss than losing one's parents.
Yes, I understand this. I must tell you many of the experiences I've had in Ashai. Have you heard of Ashai? You know about the war that takes place against the Yaksha and the nation of Goldar?
I know little. I know of the war, but beyond that, I don't know much of it.
Well, let me tell you some of my stories I have from when I was a young boy in the nation of Shimara. I used to follow the Omnikami, the gods of Ashai. And while Yaito goes into this whole conversation, let's skip back to the other party. The four of you step out of the Adventurers Guild one at a time. Thaddeus does not even catch on. So you're now on the streets of New Tempest. The Adventurers Guild, it's in the Commons, the district, the Commons, where most of the commoners live. So New Tempest is split into several different districts throughout the city. The largest district is obviously going to be called the Commons. That's where most of the commoners live. And part of that area, there's also a district called the Merchants District or the Craftsman's District, as well as the Market District. And then you have the Park District along with the Temple District. And then obviously to the very north along Zephyr's Bay, there is the docks. And then you have obviously the slums, and then the High District, which is where all the nobles typically will live and hang out at. And then the last district is the University District, where most of the colleges and universities are located. Now you also have the outskirts of the cities. Outside the city walls are all the farmland that are around the city. So with the four of you standing outside now, people are just walking by. It's loud. People are talking. New Tempest is a fairly large city. It's not as large as Stratham, which is the capital of Londe, the nation that you're currently in, but it is the second largest city in Londe for a good reason. So traversing the streets on foot in one evening is not going to happen. You're not going to be able to search the entire city in one night. It's just way too massive of a city. Think of Baldur's Gate 3. That city, you remember how big that city was? Now take that city and times it by like 5. This is a big city. So with the three of you plus Yatari standing out there, what do you guys do?
So you can't narrow, like, they gave you zero context, like, at all, not even what part.
I can't remember, to be honest.
I was
the
kind of asking the
details.
DM.
No,
That's what I was thinking too.
no, so you don't have a lot to go off of. This is where what we call some investigation checks are going to come into play. I just
Alright.
named off some districts that you could potentially start looking into. Vampires are elusive creatures. They're not easy to find, especially when one is brave enough to live in a city as big as New Tempest, especially with the Temple District housing the House of the Octatic Divine, where you have paladins and clerics walking around. So whatever vampire or vampires are here in the city, they're brave motherfuckers to chill here in the city. So they're not going to be easy to find. I'm not trying to make it super easy. So you have to make some checks. and you can investigate. Now, you can pick a district you want to go into.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, based off what I remember, the cleric told you, Alaric, that some people have gone missing off the streets and some bodies have been found in alleyways and stuff. Now, I mean, your highest assumption is people being taken off the streets and stuff. You're
But
highly going to think that's not the high district.
That's a slum thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think of slumps too.
You're going to think
and
either
it's like
the
that's where
commons.
people don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
that's why they're not going. So I definitely think.
And right now, it's still a rumor, right? So someone high enough or important enough or people with money, if they've gone missing, it would be more than just some small rumors, right? It would be a lot more well known. Unless the authorities are trying to keep it, downplayed, but like this is very small rumor right now. So the chance of it being just commoners, fairly likely. So, the Temple District, obviously, you're probably not going to search there. You're probably not going to go to the High District where the nobles are.
I'm going to just roll in general. Okay, that's pretty
a high 21 on your investigation. So what are you thinking for that? And I'll tell you what that can get you.
Yeah, so kind of what I said before, that these are probably the lower class nobodies of the world. But they're still victims. That could be my family. So Damien is, really putting on his thinking cap. And he's looking around at like the shops, people, what they're wearing, looking to see if he sees like any panhandlers, any suspicious looking characters, hooded characters. Even if I go, like, do I have to go to the slums to find an alley, or
there's alleyways throughout the city that are in the common quarters. I mean, there's some alleyways in the High District as well.
Okay, and I would I know how far away the slums is from where I'm at?
Yeah, you'd have a general idea with the 21 investigation. So the Adventurers Guild is located east central of New Tempest. So it's in the commoners' quarters. So you're already in the commons. The High District is to the far northeast of the city. It's typically gated, so it's somewhat difficult to get into the High District. But the slums is typically found along the southern end of the city, where it leaks out past the city walls, where it starts to go into like some of the housing outside the city walls that aren't as protected. But the slums, it's probably a good walking distance from your current location, probably a 30-minute walk from your current location. But so as you're walking, I'm assuming toward the south, you're thinking of the slums. You're looking around with a 21 investigation. There's people all over the place. It's hard to keep track of everybody. But there's a couple of individuals that look a little shady, but that's not uncommon, right? In a major city like this, you have some people with hoods over their heads. You have adventurers with cloaks and hoods as well. But then you also have a couple of panhandlers here in the commons. You see there's an old man that you eventually pass by. He's sitting down cross-legged on the side of the road. He tattered clothing. He's got a little bucket in his hand, hoping people toss him a gold or two, missing some teeth. He just, starving veteran. Any gold will help.
Damn. I walk up to that guy. And I got a lot of gold. I'll give him one.
You put a piece of gold into his bucket. He looks up at you with his grayish eyes. He's balding with thin white hair. He's got a tan to him because obviously he lives outside, and he's got a bunch of scars along his arms. You can see this guy has seen some shit.
Right, he's been through it. Hey, dude. You look like you spend a lot of time out here.
Yes. Thank you for your contribution, my good young lad.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel safe out here at night?
Do I feel what?
Safe. Do you see shadows? weird people, things that shouldn't be happening, hearing screams, anything like that?
I see and hear everything in the city. Screams, whether they're good or bad, I hear that. I see shady people all the time. I mean, he looks over and points at a random person walking by. That guy is shady. Look at him.
Yeah, he is shady as fuck, ain't he?
Are you looking for something specific?
I'm looking for something more unusual, something more scary that you couldn't explain, that you felt like you couldn't tell anyone. I mean, if you don't know, I don't want to pry, but I just figured I'd ask.
He starts chewing whatever's in his mouth, and he spits to the side. Something scary.
Yeah, something that would snatch a person off the street.
Well, let's see. I once ran into what do they call those creatures? Like a slime box thing.
Uh-huh.
I've run into some really giant rats before in the alleyways.
Uh-huh. Same.
Some people get snatched up because they owe others money. There's a lot of gangs here in New Tempest.
Yeah,
Don't
you're not wrong.
piss off any of the gang members and you'll surely do fine. If anyone's being dragged off the streets, it's probably because they owed a gang member or two something.
All right. Well, don't spend that gold on all in one place.
He nods. Thank you again, young lad.
Don't thank me. Thank the circumstances.
Damn.
So, he goes back. Well, that was a bunch of nothing. But I feel like we should start our way at the bottom and work our way up.
Yes, let's work our way towards the darkness and see where we can go.
The darkness. All right, Mr. Twilight.
Like channeling his inner Batman now.
I know.
Right.
I'm Batman.
We could go to the slums
Gonna
or
start
grass
punching
travel
people in the
or
slums.
So you guys head straight to the slums then?
unless
I would
there's
say
something along the
slums or-
way.
Slums or park is where we should check, but probably the slums.
Okay. So we fast travel quickly to the slums. Takes you another, again, like 30 minutes from the Adventurers Guild area to get to the slums on the far south end of the city. And you can see, the slums. You go down some stone stairs and eventually you come across the slums and the giant letters appear on the screen. The slums.
Right. The project.
The projects. Obviously, the slums here in the city is a place where, people go to when they can't afford things. It's the obvious. A lot of the people here that live in the slums can't find work, or they've been ignored in some way, or they have issues that they just can't get away from. But most of the housing here in the slums is very rickety. A lot of shacks just made out of stone or wood with some hay roofing. There's some tents just scattered all over the place. You see, as soon as you walk in, it's a pretty populated area. Not very many people walking around that have as nice of a clothing as you all do. And you all immediately get the smell that you're in the slums. It definitely smells a bit slummish.
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 Smell like skunk
Yeah.
and ass, trash,
Yes.
sewage.
Exactly. So as you step into the streets of the slums, there is a big difference from the commons to the slums. As soon as you go down these stairs, it's quite a drastic change. But no one's really looking at you. Here in the slums, no one fucking cares about you. However, the deeper you go, people might start eyeing you only because of the clothing you're wearing. It's much better than what everyone else here is wearing.
It's that nice shit.
Yes. So
We're looking at lips,
now
rubbing
that
our hands together.
Yep. Now that's been about 30 minutes. I said it's about 6:30 or so. It's going on 7-ish, 7:15 now in the evening. And you see some people walking by. Some of them look up at you, but no one seems to come at you or anything like that. But it's the slums. You want to be careful because there's also thieves and people that may potentially do you harm here in the slums as well. Not everyone here is good. So
Shit, I'm barely good. Let's do this. All right. I mean, this ain't a big place. If you all want to branch off and talk to a few people, make light work of this. It's getting late. We got to get back.
Yutari,
Yes.
Thaddeus.
Yutari shakes her head. Yeah, I agree. So how about this? Do we want to split up into twos? Just partner up just in case.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good idea. I'm scared we don't even have Thaddeus. I'm like, we're gonna run into something, and I'm weak right now.
Well, I also have Eyes of the Night, so I can pass it to several.
that do?
Actually, I could pass it to everyone as long as they're within my vicinity, because my wisdom is high enough.
What is Eyes of the Night?
So I can see through the deepest gloom. Actually, let me just. Can I post this? There we go.
Yeah, you can. So you can see through the deepest gloom. You have dark vision out for a range of 300 feet. In that radius, you can see in dim light as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. As an action, you can magically share the dark vision of this feature with willing creatures you can see within 10 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier. The shared dark vision lasts for 1 hour. Once you share it, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Nice.
Okay. As a human with no dark vision, please.
Okay, I think me and Yutari both have dark vision, but it's only 60 feet.
Yes. So how are you splitting up into twos? Who's going with who?
Guess it makes sense for Damien to go with
Alaric.
Alaric, yeah.
Okay.
You watch over
Let's
our
call it
cub.
Elroy.
Hey.
Elroy.
You watch over our cub, Isundra. Noma would never forgive us if we let something happen to her.
I'm scared.
Of what? These dirty, malnourished bums. Believe in yourself.
If we run into a vampire, I'm weak now.
Well, no,
think...
between you and me, I'm starting to think this is a bunch of barnacles.
I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
see me just dipping out of a fucking alleyway, running as fast as I can.
I don't think we're gonna run into any vampires at 7:15 in the evening here in the middle of the slums. I mean, there's a lot of people still out and about. I don't think vampires are that stupid.
I don't know. Is it like Japan? Does it get dark at 5 o'clock?
What is Japan? Are you
Sorry, a shy.
Oh, you mean Shimara?
Yeah.
I mean, the sun's still out, but it's slowly, lowering. It'll probably be fully night by 45 minutes from now.
All right.
So we can wait on casting the dark vision then.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So Yutari will walk off with Isundra while Alaric and Damien walk off. I'm assuming you guys aren't trying to break away too far.
Nah.
No.
Okay. All right.
I think I'll take the lead this time. Now that we are here.
Okay. So Alaric, would you like to make me an investigation check just to kind of see what you spot and what you can
Yeah. And then
about?
can you tell me how does observant work?
Let's
Because
see.
I see it says I give a bonus 5 with my perception or investigation.
So quick to notice details of your environment. You gain the following benefits. You increase your intelligence or wisdom score by 1 to a maximum of 20. If you can see a creature's mouth while it is speaking a language you understand, you can interpret what it's saying by reading its lips. You have a +5 bonus to your perception, your passive perception, and passive intelligence investigation scores. So basically that adds a +5 to your passives, but you can also understand and interpret what someone might be saying if you can see their lips. So you can pass by someone who's talking and try and interpret what exactly they're saying just by looking at their lips. It makes it easier to do that.
Okay, so that's not added to my dice roll.
You increase your intelligence
No, I
score
just think
by
it's your
1.
score.
Yeah. So whatever your intelligence score is, what is it right now? Oh, wait,
I
wait. That's a feature, so that's a +1 to your overall stats in general. That doesn't add 1 like now. That just adds 1 to general. So it's already
right.
added.
Yeah, I was just confused about the passive wisdom and perception.
Yeah, so passive perception is basically like if so like what you guys did to Thaddeus, right? You were trying to sneak. So you're not like actively looking around. If you're just relaxing and sitting somewhere and someone tried to sneak by you, you're not like anticipating that. So that's based off your passive perception of trying someone tries to sneak. Instead of you rolling a perception, they have to beat your passive perception. So your passive investigation is more so like what you realize without trying to realize it, if that makes any sense. That's how it's passive.
I think that's kind of hard for me to put into practice. I'm not sure how to use that then. Or at least with the investigation part.
So, with your passive investigation, we'll just say I will give you a +5 to your investigation check.
I would say
Okay.
it's like if you're sitting in a bar and you're like kind of focused on what someone's saying like across the way, right? Like you would be able to maybe read their lips.
Yeah,
So if you were
basically.
like investigating something like that.
Goodness.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll.
So +5 to that.
All right, I'm on it. Damien, he been some places with bootleg Tommy, Johnny Morrow back in the day. He just seen some hoods, so he looking around. All right, probably the trap house right there. Okay. Little little kids' toys. Okay. Seeing stuff, and then he notices, someone in particular that he
Does
wants to
someone look
approach.
like troubled or like scared, as if like they're worried about the night?
That's Are they worried, DM?
Real quick. So Alaric rolled an 8 plus the 5. So that is a 13 investigation. And then Damien rolled a 23 right after that. But I just looked it up. So to kind of help you understand that a little bit more for the observant part, Kendall. So like passive investigation would come into play, like, for example, when your character is keeping like an eye out for something highly specific. So like, for example, if your character is looking for a very specific type of brick in a dungeon's hallway, but at the same time you have to keep moving, you can't stop to investigate. You just have to keep walking because like something's after you, but you're also trying to look for something. You would get a
Mm-hmm.
+5 to that passive investigation kind of thing. So hopefully that helps kind of explain that passive investigation. Yeah. But in this but in this case, basically you're walking with Damien and you're keeping a lookout for anything that might catch your eye. So you're basically getting a +5 to that. So what is your passive in intelligence right now? So what's your intelligence score?
My intelligence is 16.
So 16 is going to be, I believe, a +3, I think. Yeah,
3.
+3 to your roll. So passive score, I believe, is, let's see, I believe it's a 10 plus whatever that is. Yeah, so 10 to the total of all modifiers. So your passive perception is a 13, right? So you have or your passive investigation is a 13. So you add 5 to that. It's an 18 now. So if I make any rolls and it's under that 18, you're gonna notice it off bat, even if you're not trying to notice it.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind. So if I have someone trying to sneak, even though you're not looking directly at them, if I roll lower than an 18, you're gonna see it. So, but Damien with a 23, as the two of you walk away from Isundra and Yatari, you do see a couple of people sitting along the side of the streets. Some people standing in front of their tents on the side. Some people are cooking in a pot. There's a giant barrel or a metal barrel with some fire inside of it as people are warming their hands. But you two do spot a particular individual as you're walking by and he is about middle-aged. He looks like he is a bugbear. He's completely hunched over with these tattered robes over his shoulders, and he's walking with this walking stick. And he stops and he just glances at you for a moment. And he seems to be the only one looking at you at this time. Do either of you?
I'm going right up to him. You know how I do.
I'm
Time
following
is
up.
of the essence. Hey, no, I don't want any of your fire. I just have a few questions if that's cool. I'm not trying to like walk up on you, man. I just wondering if that's all right.
He looks down at the two of you, looking at your boots, slowly looking upwards, seeing that you both have some nice pair of pants on.
Yeah, the drip crazy, ain't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's just
listen.
looking at your clothes.
You see anything unusual around here? Particularly at night? Or any weight to the rumor about people going missing?
He sniffs and looks at you and then to Alaric. Anything unusual here in the slums? I have some things I've seen that are unusual. It depends on what you're looking for. It'll cost you a couple gold coins if you'd like.
No. All right.
A man's gotta eat.
Yes, and so we will pay you, but I just want to so have you seen any people that might have seemed a little more ghoulish than usual, or have been targeting other people around here?
Damien leans over to Alaric. I paid the last bum. You paying this one?
I got it. It's fine. And so I will pay you 2 gold coins.
Well, there's plenty of ghoulish people around here. 2 gold coins. I will gladly accept your patronage to my.
For what information exactly? Because you ain't said much yet.
Well, once I have 2 gold coin, I'll tell you what I know.
Or are you gonna make something up because you don't know anything? Which is also okay. Because if I find out you're swindling my friend, I might have to punch you in the stomach.
No, of course not.
And here are your 2 gold coins.
He takes 2 gold. So are you looking for information particularly that's taking place here in the slums or
Yes.
elsewhere?
Either. Where it travels, you know. But let's be honest. Those nobles, hell, even the police, they don't care about what goes on down here.
Of course not. Fuck the nobles.
I
Fuck
agree.
the king.
Eat the fucking rich. We're down here trying to help. That's all. But we don't have a ton of time. Apparently, the spookies come out at night, so we're just trying to prevent any more victims from showing up missing.
There's a lot of spookies at night. Well, if you're looking for a specific person or something, I may not know of a lot of information, but I know of a potential person that would. He grins.
Why would that person know? What's so special about them?
My dear, you're here in the slums. You know who runs the slums? At least one of the groups that runs this part of the slums. You ever heard of the Green Vipers?
Gonna roll a history check.
18 is pretty high.
Yes.
You have heard of the Green Vipers. So the Green Vipers are actually one of the gangs that have established themselves here in New Tempest. And from what you know, Damien, of the Green Vipers, you know, they're a band of hooligans and ruffians that are not known for brute force, but more so for their ability to gain intel on things that happen around them. They are brokers of information, but they are also not to be trifled with. The term Green Vipers is there because they are, I don't want to say masters, but they are experts at using poisons. They don't particularly harm people for the fun of it, like some gangs might.
But they would for information.
But they would for information. Yes. And you do know that the Green Vipers, they are known to have info as deep as the black markets can go.
Which we could probably use anyway for this virus.
Potentially.
Shit. Where can I find the guy that runs the Green Vipers?
Oh. No one knows where you find the leader, but
Well, someone
I can tell you where one of his henchmen resides, if you'd like.
Do I need an appointment? Or should I show up expecting a fight?
It depends on how you present yourselves to them. But I could tell you, since you gave me this wonderful 2 gold, you can find a group of the Green Vipers down the street, straight ahead, 2 alleyways to the right. Go through the second alleyway, and into the alleyway, you'll hit an intersection, turn left, and there should be a group of them hanging out as we speak.
You writing this down, Alaric? What do you say? 2 alleys down, left?
Hold
on, run it back. Right.
2 alleyways straight ahead to the right. Go
2
down the road, the second alleyway on your right. Turn into it.
Damien's writing on a piece of fucking parchment paper.
And once you get into that alleyway, you'll come across an intersection. Turn left there.
Cool.
Now,
this
as far
information-
as what they give you, or if you're looking for trouble, I can't help you there.
This information proves to be useful. There may be more gold where that came from.
Well, you'll know where I'll be. Right here, keeping warm next to my tent.
That's unfortunate. Bye. And then he turns to Alaric. All right, at least we got a lead. But I don't want to leave without Isundra and Yatari.
While you two are having this conversation with this bugbear, Isundra, you're not too far off from Alaric and Damien, but Yatari is next to you as you're walking by, you're looking around. What are you looking for, Isundra, particularly?
Is Yatari comfortable, or is she like worried about what's around
She doesn't seem to be uncomfortable. She's looking around, like, obviously she doesn't care for the smell all that much, but she's not like offended by these people or anything like that. She seems to be fairly normal. I mean, she's not making rude comments about them or anything like that.
Okay. Isundra's a little... She's out of her element. She's from the woods. She doesn't see this kind of stuff very often.
She's clutching her pearls.
Well, I don't know about
She's
that.
locking her car
like,
doors.
She's trying to not get mugged, you know.
She got her
Onto that
invisible
coin
coat
purse.
wrapped around her.
Who should we talk to, Yatari?
Yatari's looking around. Well, I mean, everyone just seems to be minding their own business. How about we just pick someone?
Is there like a shop person or something around? Like some
there's a couple of stalls along the road with some wooden tables. Nothing fancy, very run down, but there are some stalls where some people are selling some random trinkets and some food. I mean, nothing fancy, but you could find some.
I'll approach somebody selling something then.
Okay. You come across the first stall and you see there is a gnome behind the table. He has this really old looking knife. He's just cutting into some vegetables. He's got a little bucket, or not a bucket, but more of like a basket of not so fresh veggies. But he looks up at you. What do you want?
Excuse me, sir. We were wondering if you had any information.
What information you looking for?
I wonder if you've seen anything kind of spooky and maybe out of the usual.
Yeah. My ex-wife.
I need Damien for this conversation. This is not- I meant more like maybe the reason people are going missing.
People are going missing. I mean, that happens all the time here in the city, especially here in the slums. What are you looking for? Someone specific? Are you some goody two-shoe, noble, based off the way you're dressed?
Oh yeah, they don't know nice shit at all.
First
This
of
is
all, I'm not
Isundra's
dressed
work
that
clothes.
nice. Yeah.
Right.
Pretty sure I've got like a pelt from a wolf we killed on me and
Yep.
Well, that's
some
a pelt
woodsy
I don't
clothes.
have.
Boo-hoo.
Well, I don't know if I should tell him that. Should I? Yutari, should we tell him that there are people being missing from vampires? I don't want to scare them.
Maybe don't speak about vampires. Maybe just ask him if anyone has seen monsters or creatures. Don't be specific.
Have you seen any sort of spooky monsters around?
Looking for monsters? What are you, part of the Adventurers Guild? Here to earn a gold or two? Here to save the day?
Well, kind of, yes, but
Right, why he act like he got a problem? If it were true.
I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, but that's not really the point.
Well, you'll find yourself some giant rats, maybe some spiders here or there here in the slums. Potential kobolds every now and then. Don't go too deep into the slums now. You might come across some creepy crawlies down there, but I don't go too far deep into the slums. It's dangerous in there, especially in the sewers. Stay away
What's
from
in
the
the
sewers
sewers?
now.
Shoe
Glenn.
Magoo.
Yep.
No, that's Rat Mageddon. excuse
Yep,
me.
Ratmageddon. I don't know. I ain't willing to find out. Now, you gonna buy some of these veggies or not?
She throws, I don't know, a couple gold on the table and buys a veggie
Oh,
to be nice.
well, thank you for your fine business.
She walks away with Yutari. We learned absolutely nothing.
Why'd you give him so much gold?
I didn't give him that much. I gave him like 3 gold. Calm down.
That's a lot of gold. For that one vegetable you grabbed, that's a rotting green pepper.
I don't know what things cost. How much can it cost? Honestly, I don't know.
You could have gotten like 5 pieces of green peppers for...
Well, what am I going to do with 5 green peppers? I don't even need this one.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Damien approaches. You're not gonna eat that, are you?
I don't think so.
No, don't eat that shit. So, anything?
I learned nothing. He just said that there are spooky things, but they're not vampires. There's like big rats, which we already knew.
Yeah, I'm good on
Something
those.
in the sewers,
Well,
but he
What
didn't know what.
What about you guys? Did you guys find anything?
maybe. He gave us some directions. He pulls his little parchment out. Yeah, I wrote this shit down. They said there's a
Apparently,
gang called
there's
the
a Green Viper gang that
info brokers. They're willing to do anything for information, maybe even snatch up people off the street.
Yutari looks at you guys. Dealing with the Green Vipers? They're dangerous.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but we're just gonna approach with a cool head, ask a few questions, and split. If it's not them, we shouldn't have anything to worry about, right? And if it is them, well,
All right, Damien, you have to be on your best behavior. We cannot make enemies with the Green Vipers.
Uh-oh.
there's no
Yutari
one to
knows
balance me
something.
out these days. If you haven't noticed, I've been a little more level-headed. Eddie and Cat gone. Isundra doesn't really know when to intervene until it's too late. And Yaito's too soft, and Yutari is intermittent. Rogar is gone, and let's go.
So you follow the directions the bugbear gave you. You go down the second alley to the right. You eventually get to the intersection. And I mean, this alleyway is dank. It's dark. It's decrepit. It smells horrible. But you finally get to that intersection. You turn left, and you see there is a small fire.
I'm rolling a stealth.
That's pitched up. Oh, that's a nice,
You rolled a
critical
crit.
26 total on your stealth. But as you follow those directions, you end up near this dead end of an alleyway. But at the dead end, you see there are some clothing wires kind of just strung up from one wall to the other with some clothes hanging off of them. There's a fire, and there seems to be 5 individuals, not necessarily like trying to be stealthy or anything. They're just hanging out. They're all sitting on either boxes or barrels, and they seem to be congregating, talking to one another. And the 5 of them just minding their own business. They don't know you're there with that stealth, though. But the other 3, if you're trying to like sneak up on them, the other 3 are going to have to make stealth rolls as well.
Well, as I creep ahead, I kind of put my hand up behind them, like stop. And then I'm just going to peek around the corner. And how many of them are there?
5.
5 of them. Okay. Are they armored?
They are not necessarily armored. If anything,
Are they armed?
They do have some short swords, daggers. If any armor, they have like light leather armor, if anything.
Are they humans?
Most of them are, yes. You have 3 humans. The other 2 look like half orcs.
Okay.
And here, let's do this just to
let
guys...
me load this map.
Let's load this map to kind of give you guys an idea here. So can you guys see some of the map? Has it been revealed?
Not yet. Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
to, like the left.
Yeah. Let's see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see it.
All right.
What's
Cool.
he doing here?
Perfect.
They're in spirit.
So I'm just gonna move you guys. We'll pretend that this is the alleyway. Damien, I'll put you here. Isundra's behind you, and Yatari and Alaric are there with you. And then I'll put some people off to the left and just pretend that's them. So 1 second. Let me just grab some people.
Like they be doing?
Yep.
Grabbing some people is why we're in this mess.
So real quick, I know it's a goblin, but they're not goblins. We'll just use these guys as... All right. So you see this alleyway, and there's just 5 of them just chilling. What do you do?
All right. So I look back at them and I start giving them hand signals. Like I'm in Rainbow Six mission.
Rainbow Six.
And then he puts his finger over his lips. Shh. And I'm assuming this is I'm thinking of approaching alone, and then if they get hostile, you guys will kind of have the jump on them. Does that sound like a good idea? I just feel like they're gonna be like not
Roll up deep, they're gonna be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just go up by myself.
They're gonna think you're like an enemy gang or something.
Something, and they're gonna try to jack us.
In a West Side Story, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know we eating them up in the aesthetics department. You know we got way better gear. We got magic shit. I got 6,000 gold on me. I ain't fucking. I ain't Thaddeus and Eddie, or I don't got no better. You robbed me. I gotta start over, bitch. I'm living dangerously. But I'm walking up.
All right, you walk up with that stealth. They don't recognize you coming up to them. What do you do?
I am just gonna let my presence be known in the least scary way possible.
As you...
It's gonna kind of emerge out of the light.
As you reveal yourself, one of them takes notice, and they all slowly turn to look at you.
My hands are up to show them that I'm not holding a weapon.
As the 5 of them look at you, I said there are 2 half-orcs, 3 humans. The biggest one there stands up. He stands about 6 feet. He's fairly muscular. He steps up to you. What do you think you're doing? You just stepped into our territory. What do you want?
Oh, is that what this is? I'm sorry. I was looking for some information, though. You guys look like the guys around here.
You know who you're talking to, mister?
I might. Let me see. Green Vipers, is it?
You catch on quick. You should know that we're very deadly.
I've heard something similar said about a group I used to roll with. But, regardless, I'm willing to pay for the information. And I may even have some information of my own that may be useful.
Is that right?
If it matters so much to you.
The taller guy looks over his shoulder at the second human behind him, and the second guy, he steps forward. He's a little shorter, about 5'7", skinnier, but he's got a belt with what looks like 3 daggers sheathed across his belt, and he steps forward. Information, you say? Well, if you don't know, which I'm assuming you do because you've stepped into our territory knowing who we are, that we're all about intel and information. So how can the Green Vipers help you if you're here to do business, that is?
Yeah, so I have reason to believe that people either in this town or possibly the next town over are going missing, mainly at night, by something more inhuman, a little maybe paranormal. Not exactly sure.
The second man, he steps
Now,
forward and
if it's you gentlemen simply doing business, I don't want to get in your way. But if you're going to take the rap for something more monstrous is doing, I don't think that's a good idea. Should you take credit for these disappearances, keep it under wraps. But I got to know what I'm working with, you know?
he looks at you. Well, you're brave to come here alone, if you are alone. Do you have allies around the corner or nearby? Don't lie to us either. The Green Vipers will always know.
Let's just say I never travel alone. But approaching
Smart.
in a group. Yeah.
Well, we're not stupid. If you're traveling with others, have them come out as well, and we'll make a deal. Information for the right price. You can call me Tibor. I am one of the Green Viper's right-hand men. You can trust me. If you're here to do business, well, I am in the business trade. For the right gold, I'll tell you what you want to know, if we have that information. And if we don't have that information, I'm sure that the Green Vipers can obtain it somehow. Again, for the right price. But we need to know who we're dealing with. We don't just do business with anybody. And if you're not alone, we want to see all the faces of those traveling with you.
Never a problem. And, Damien, come on out, guys. Now, if all of you don't want to come out anyway, you don't have to, but at least 2 of you.
Gotta at least show up.
So Isundra comes out. What does Alaric do?
I'll also appear. I am confident.
Okay. Katara will come around the corner as well. She's a little tense because you're dealing with one of the gangs, and obviously if things go south, it can get ugly. But she is not coming with the intention of attacking. So she'll step out though. And with the 4 of you now being visible to the 5 Green Vipers, the one that called himself Tabor, he just nods. Quite the entourage you have with you. But now that we can see all of your faces, we can do business. So tell us, how can Tibor of the Green Vipers help you?
Well, again, the monsters at night. Is that you? Or is it something we should continue looking for?
Some might call us monsters, but those are the ones that owe us money and have debts that aren't paid back.
Damien just
We
looks back at
have
Alaric, but he doesn't say anything.
we have a code here in the Green Vipers. We're not assassinations. Yes, we do toy with poisons and are deadly with them, but only to those that would attempt to do us harm. We're not like some of the other ruffian gangs you'll come across here in the New Tempest. No, no. We are all about blackmailing people. We have much more information on those that you would think. But these monsters you speak of, they could be us, potentially. But most likely not. Maybe another rival gang. But you're talking about people going missing on the streets at night. I mean, that's a common occurrence here in any city, especially one as big as New Tempest. But monsters, you say, there's stories. We have
People said they're
intel.
seeing shadows appearing and people vanishing.
And the people saying those things, can you trust everyone here in the city? No, you can't. You have drunkards. You have crazies out there that see things in their own minds. But do you have any more details about the people that have gone missing and this monster that's snatching them up? I mean, are there bloody scenes being left behind, particularly that you're interested in?
You said the bodies got dumped, right?
Some of them did, yes.
Dumped where? Like away from where they were killed?
Yes, away from where they're killed, particularly, close to alleyways or in areas that are not so obvious.
Are these like gruesome deaths, like gory?
No. So
okay, it just looks like they could have had a heart attack.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
that's definitely sounding like they were poisoned. Okay.
One of the corpses in the rumors that was found was someone drained of their blood. Obviously, is that why a vampire rumor has even come across?
So then Alaric will interject. So did you see anyone of like that looked like he was drained of blood, perhaps, or do you know of any type of creatures here that have been draining blood around here?
Now we're getting interesting. Tibber looks at the other four and he smiles. People getting their blood drained. Yes, I think I've known a thing or two about this. I've caught wind of some information about this, but obviously I can't just tell you for free. Again, we're in the business of information. I can tell you about some bodies with blood being drained from them, and particularly where in the city that those bodies were found for the right price, my dear.
What's more valuable to you, gold or priceless information?
Now you're speaking our language. What kind of information do you have? Just depends. I mean, we're all here for the gold, too. But if you have information that potentially have us blackmail someone, a noble, perhaps, then we could talk business there, too.
Damien opens his mouth. Cat and Co huddle, and he turns his back. You all in the huddle.
Itari's like, yes.
Do we think we should tell them about Avirus?
Itari goes,
stuff.
Oh, that's very dangerous, Damien.
Think it's worth that.
Blackmailing her, though, she's on another tear. You heard that guy. She's forcing him to do her bidding and work for her. This may be a way to help him.
But we signed the contract.
Trying to make us make her an enemy again?
We're trying to make her an enemy of a gang, yes. We're trying to make them fight each other.
You know she's going to find out if we tell them.
It's probably true, but...
Well, how about we find out how much gold they're willing to sell this information for before we give them that?
And what if it's so fucking much?
We won't know till we ask.
We need a backup plan. I'm not leaving here drained dry in my pockets. You know I don't get down like that. There's got to be something else. I mean, who else do we know is a noble?
So
We can talk about the Desones.
Yatari gasps. Of House Desone?
Damien puts his hand over his mouth. Is it naughty?
Wait, isn't Thaddeus from a noble house too?
Oh, bitch. We could tell him about his seeds. That's messy information. Ooh, that could get some child support running. Couple households. That's how they do things here.
I mean, we can give them some information, but are they going to find that worthy enough?
We don't
Let's go
know
with the
until we
gold.
try. Oh my goodness, you guys are so loose on the pockets. It's ridiculous. But if we have to go in on the gold, fine. We'll just have to divide it up. How much gold does everyone have?
Right now I have 4,000.
Jesus.
I only put like a little bit in the bank. I don't trust the banks.
Damien, look, he nods. Good. Good. Hey, Tari, what you working with?
She checks her pockets. I'm about 1,000.
All right, Alaric.
Well, I'm at the brokest one here. So I have 671 gold.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I was not set up like the rest of like the rest of the
No,
party.
the rest of the party got a good deal from season 1 at the end.
No.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll take the brunt of the cost if it comes to that, but I want my money back. And he adjourns the huddle. Sorry about that. We're just sitting on so much valuable information. We had to kind of file through and see what we could salvage and what we could hand over.
Tibor just smiles wildly. Well, that's all right. So, what kind of deal can we make here?
You got information on noble. You want information on nobles, huh?
Well, depends on the nobles. Not every noble is worth their grain of salt.
Well, before we get into that, how much you talking for the information about the drained bodies?
I'd be willing to give you this information for, let's see, I mean, we're being very specific on where these bodies are being found, and for monsters at play, we're being even more specific. You know, potentially something the Adventurers Guild might look into that they don't know about just yet, which they'll be selling some gold for, making some money off of too. I'll give you this information for, let's say, 800 gold. You can try to persuade them if you want to make it less.
Damien looks back at the group. What do you guys say?
I have high persuasion. Let me see if I could.
We could all put 200 in on it. And if it's bullshit,
so I'm gonna jump in and say something to him. And what is the leader's name?
Tibor.
Tibor.
Okay. So Tibor,
I'm broke.
I'm broke.
So what if the information that you have is indeed what we're looking for? I also think that this would be a good cause for the people here as well, like to remove such foul circumstances among the slums and the other commoners here in the city. Wouldn't you think?
Look at you.
And I did not roll high enough.
12 persuasion. He smiles at you. By the way you're dressed, strapping young man such as yourself, let me guess. Cleric of the sorts. I can see you follow, let me take a guess. Lunaris, the goddess of the moon.
Oh,
How accurate am I? Oh, I'm pretty good, aren't I? Well, my dear friend, Mr. Cleric. Oh, the Green Vipers. We're for the people, but we're also for money. And, you know, a good monster here or there drives some sales. You know what I'm saying? And we're not in the cleric business or the business of the Octatic Divine. Yes, we'd love to help out our fellow commoners, but, you know, we don't do it for free, unfortunately. We just don't see the reason to do things in the name of the greater good. We live in a more realistic world where money speaks. So,
Why does it sound like I should be in this group?
Oh, well, I wasn't asking for the free price. I was just suggesting with lower for it being a better cause. But I understand
see.
your
I see.
your
I'll tell you
perspective.
what. You have strung at my very heart with your good deeds, Mr. Cleric. Instead of 800, I can give it to you for 700. How about that?
We'll have Alaric and Yatari pay 100 each. And then I'll do 300 and Isundra can do 2. Is that fair?
Okay, we can work with that.
We're running out of time. It's getting dark. And I don't want to be too tired in the morning for everything else. So let's just get this over with. Damien turns around. All right. I've met with my allies and 700 gold's a deal.
Perfect. Excellent. So, let's see the 700 gold, and we will give you this information that you seek.
Damien starts counting it out, and after he grabs everyone's share. Okay.
Excellent. You have yourself a deal. He raises his left hand and motions with his left finger to the gold as one of the green vipers behind him steps up to grab the gold, steps back. And Tabur, he pulls up his crate that he was sitting on. He sits down. All right, so let's get to business here. For the 700 gold, you're looking for bodies drained of blood throughout the city of New Tempest. Well, if you ask me, sounds like the works of creatures of the night. These corpses that have been founded, not very many, a recent occurrence as well, but you are not wrong. The rumors that you hear about bodies being drained from their blood are actually true. Now, what may have drained their blood? One can only say. But I can tell you, from what we have found, 10 bodies within the last 2 months have been found fully drained of their blood. Again, in the last 2 months, now that I think about it, what has recently happened here in New Tempest that might be coincidental with these bodies being found? Now, again, that's only 10 bodies being found. There could be more that are still out there that have yet to be discovered. But every single one of these bodies, markings on the neck, as if someone bit into them.
Are they like fang marks?
What kind of monsters bite into someone's neck to drain their blood? Mind you, the crime scenes, not messy like you would think. Blood scattered all over the walls like a serial killer. No, nothing like that. Just bodies with markings on their neck. Fangs, perhaps. Can't really say. Didn't see the corpses myself. But the reports do mention bites on the neck. Now, we all don't need to, I would assume, ask for more money to tell you what kind of creatures out there would do this.
No,
so what
but
are you thinking? Vampires,
where,
perhaps?
Where did this happen? You said that was a part of it.
Damien's trying to get to the point.
No, I want all the information he said.
Well, the 10 bodies scattered, but most of them within the same district of one another, not too far off. Have you all ever heard of the Ashenbrook Manor?
Let me dig into my brain.
Make that history.
I do.
Damn, Damien's been in New Tempest a while.
That is my city. That's I put on.
Alaric knows nothing. 7.
Right.
So you have heard of the Ashenbrook Manor, Damien. The Ashenbrook Manor is one of the only manors that used to be ran by a lord, a noble, specifically, that was located in the Commons district of New Tempest. It is a manor that has been abandoned for many, many years after the lord that ran it died and passed away. You know that it was ran by a Lord Varon Ashenbrook. He was the last of his line, and when he passed, so did his line. His mansion was abandoned. No other nobles or the city didn't care to take over it because obviously it was in the commoners district, very close to the slums, but also abandoned and gated off. So you can't just get into it. But you do know it's an old, decrepit manor that has been there for many, many years, abandoned. So you know that much.
Is that where the bodies are being dumped?
Tabor looks at you. Oh, no, no, no. No, not at all. They're within the radius, a 10-mile radius. I'm sorry, a 10-minute radius, all been found around that district in the Commons. Again, interesting intel is that about 2 months ago, the Ashenbrook Manor was renovated. Did you know about that? Yes, that abandoned mansion, no longer decrepit. It's been renovated and it is in a wonderful, pristine condition. But
Is it
2
on the
months ago,
market?
no. And this is something we have yet to find. Who runs the place? We're not sure. The Green Vipers would love to find out. But I can tell you this, that Ashenbrook Manor, it's open. Once a month. Have you heard of the Scarlet Soiree?
That sounds sexy. Probably. No. I'm missing out.
You're missing out indeed.
Damien's ear perks up. Soiree.
Yes, the Scarlet Soiree. 2 months ago, a masquerade, a ball is thrown once a month at the Ashenbrook Manor. And it allows for those who can pay to get into the ball, attend to it. Now, the weird thing about it is, as you all know, us commoners, especially the ones here in the slums, will never attend a ball such as that. Typically, that's for the nobles and those that have money. But no, the Ashenbrook Manor, it accepts both nobles and commoners that have a decent amount of money. It's a masquerade. No one knows who's who. You have to wear masks and costumes. But that has been ran twice now, once each month in the last 2 months.
Has this month's happened yet?
This month's has happened already.
Damn.
But it's close to the next. The body started creeping up around the time that the Scarlet Soiree began. So perhaps there is a connection between the two. I don't know. You'll have to find out who runs the Ashenbrook Manor now. I would like to know who renovated it. It has to be a noble or two running the show. But your guess is as good as mine. Why would they run a masquerade here in the Commoners District? You know, those nobles up in the High District are high and tidy. They don't want to mingle with the commoners.
Right.
But people are vetted. Can't just get into it. You have to ask the right people and have the right amount of coin. Catch my drift.
Is it someone at the door, or is it kind of like a speakeasy of sorts? Got to know somebody, know the password type of thing.
More so that. Now, I don't personally know where to get that information, but the Green Vipers can get that information for you if you'd like to pay a little extra coin. You're looking to attend the Scarlet, are you looking to attend the Scarlet Soiree?
It does sound bitchin', but we got a lot on our plate. We got something time sensitive tomorrow, but with it coming up, I would like to know, especially if this is going to keep happening. I mean, something upscale like that, with all the hoops to jump through, just to get in, It is
Now-
weird.
Now, don't say and think that the Green Vipers are telling you that that is indeed the cause of these missing or these.
I'm
10
not. I'm not. I'm
individuals.
just putting my thoughts together. Get out. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. He starts waving his hand, rubbing his chin. Huh. This is a good start, though. All right. Anybody else got questions that they want to ask him? We basically paid for it.
And how much is the price for the speakeasy to enter the speakeasy,
Hmm.
or for the servicing of the to get into the speakeasy?
Well, it depends on what type of intel you're looking for. Are you just looking to see who to talk to get into this, or are you actually trying to attend?
We probably want to attend.
We can potentially get you in on the next one, if that's what you're looking to do. He looks over at the four of you. You all looking to attend a fancy ball with masks and dressed up in your fancy dresses and outfits?
Damien looks back at the party, his chin to his chest, his eyes in his eyebrows. Y'all know. I'm gonna dress up. Any chance I get. So y'all better stop me, because I'm a volunteer, all of us.
Seems like you're the only one willing to go to this. What about
I'm
you?
also willing to attend.
Oh. Well. So, if you want us to get you entry into the Scarlet Soiree, that's going to cost a little bit more than just giving you intel on who to talk to potentially get in, but you'll have
But-
to pay them.
Damien stops. Like, Tabor's not even talking and just looks over at the others. Oh, wait. We gotta figure out how to get away from Thaddeus again. Tonight was once, but I don't know if it'll keep working, guys.
Speaking of that,
We
meanwhile,
might, now that we know where y'all at, we'll just have to talk further, get more funds together, and come back.
But Thaddeus won't be mad to do this if, as long as we go see the,
I know, but knowing we
Yeah,
even
but-
took another job before we went out there, they're gonna be pissed. I don't know.
maybe he will
Well-
do it for the greater good. Is there vengeance involved? He'll definitely do it. Vengeance for the dead people? He'll do it.
well,
That
you
might be
have
true.
about 10 days before the next Scarlet Soiree. For the
Hmm.
right amount of gold, we can get you entry. We just have to know how many are trying to attend.
I don't think Yutari should do this one.
Atari looks around. Soirees and masquerades and fancy balls. Not really my cup of tea, guys. I don't mind sitting this one out.
All right. Do you guys think Yaito would be interested? I think we could use the extra help. So what, 4 and a possible?
I think Yaito would be good at it.
Yes, 4 and a possible. What would that cost us? 4, potentially 5.
4, potentially 5. Well, let's see. He looks over at one of his co-workers and looks back at you. Entry for 4 to 5. That it's gonna cost you, I would say, about 1,000 gold
Oh,
In total?
in total.
Okay. We'll get back to you.
Very well. I will put a time limit on that, though.
10 days,
Well-
yeah?
Yep, 10 days till the masquerade, but attendees must be confirmed a few days prior.
All right.
So,
Well, one thing we're good at is squeezing lots of activities into small windows of time. So like I said, you'll hear from us.
very good then. Well,
Stay sweet. He winks.
pleasure doing business with you.
It's never a pleasure to give up money, I'll be honest, but the information was valuable and it could save lives. I'm gonna sleep good tonight, I think. I mean, I guess it doesn't. Hopefully, no other people die before the next masquerade.
they're definitely gonna die.
I know.
Ryan's gonna be
10
like, and you
days,
went to
that's
sleep and
that's
they
a
died.
minute.
Right.
It's once a
Okay.
month they run this ball.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna try to retreat before they get back before Thaddeus gets suspicious, unless it's going better than we expected. But he's already asleep.
Is there anything else you want to ask before you guys leave?
I asked all my questions, I think.
Alaric, Isundra?
No, I
Alaric's
have no
game.
questions right now.
And what was that, Isundra?
Well, I just said this is Alaric's quest, so.
His side quest.
All right.
Damien took front and center, so I like.
Sorry. I had that history.
Damien knows how to shake down that information.
I was trying to be Batman, but I was not rolling. So
You gotta start punching people.
Right.
like,
I thought they might.
that was gonna be a quest fail real fast if they kept going my direction.
Well, if there's no other information you'd like, then our business has concluded. We'll be here for the next time you wish to do business. But remember, you have 10 days into the next Scarlet Soiree, so I'm assuming you'll want to talk to us in at least 5 days tops, because you're going to have dresses and outfits for that thing.
Worry about you, man. I got this. All right?
All right.
All right,
help
posse.
you out.
Be out. And he just starts walking, not sure if you guys are actually going to follow him or not, but he hopes so. Because that would make him look so lame.
Isundra follows real close.
Fuck yeah.
All right, Yatari will turn around and follow as well, because she doesn't want to hang out here in the alleyway with a bunch of green vipers. And Alaric, I'm assuming, as well, follows.
Yep.
So do you guys head back to the tavern or to the Adventurers Guild?
Where? I think they said to meet him at the
Tavern.
Right?
tavern. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys head back towards the tavern. Let's rewind back to Yaito and Thaddeus real quick. Sorry, Rod, that you've kind of been.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
They stuck out on your ass.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you and Yaito talk about stories of your past. You got to learn about Ashai. He gets to learn about a little bit of your history.
His party days.
Yeah. But eventually Yaito sits up and goes, it is getting late, Thaddeus. I think I am going to head over to the Quacking Donkey to meet up with everyone. Everyone's probably done doing their shopping at this time.
Well, that is fine. I think I might go catch a show before bed.
Thaddeus drunk.
How many drinks has Thaddeus had? About an hour and a half or so has gone by. 2 hours tops.
He's finishing his second drink. He just kind of sips on it.
Damn, he
He's
be
not-
babysitting.
Yes, he does. He
So
does.
he ain't got no money, or is he a lightweight?
No, he doesn't want a heavy drink anymore because of his past.
Because he gets in trouble when he
Of
drinks.
his seeds
Yep.
Well,
spreading.
maybe they might be out there. They may not be out there. Who knows?
Jesus Christ.
Something tells me we'll find out.
So Yaito will head to the Quacking Donkey. Do you go with him, Thaddeus, or do you go to the show? You said.
Yeah. He's going to try to show the rise and fall of Galakron. A haphazard production.
All right, so you go to catch this show. Yaito heads back to the Quacking Donkey, where he eventually meets with the rest of you. And as you all enter the Quacking Donkey, you can see Yaito's off in one of the tables. He's drinking some tea. Eventually sees you and he waves you guys down. Over here. How did it go?
I think it went pretty well.
We're going to go to a party.
A party, you say? What is this party? What do you mean, party? I thought you were looking for vampires.
Well, we don't really know if we're looking for vampires. We're just looking for whatever's draining people's blood. And it seems to be happening around this time that they are throwing masquerade balls at a formerly abandoned manor that has been renovated. I know, weird, but it's a speakeasy type joint.
And
But-
when are you supposed to attend this party?
Well, the party's in 10 days, but
In
We've
10
gotta-
days.
Yeah. How long are we gonna be gone tomorrow?
Well,
I thought it was 3 days.
I know it
What's
takes. Yeah, they said it'll take a few days to get to where we're going, right? Where Xandos's remains
Yeah,
are.
yeah, the research facility. It's about a day away from New Tempest and then a day back.
Okay. The bit depends on how long we take, I guess. Well, just know I'm trying, Alaric, for those people, and because I really want to wear a mask. I've always wanted to go to a masquerade party. He starts clapping.
What is a masquerade? I have never heard of this word before.
It's like a dance.
It's a high festival. It's a high class festival ball where a nobleman are wearing a costume with a mask and just dancing and greeting others, and then in a somewhat fun and an anonymous way of not knowing each other.
So this mask and costume is this normal? Is this you have to wear this?
Yes,
for the party.
but it's good way to get information without people knowing who we are.
Oh, so we are all going to this party.
I mean, if you want, we might have to have you on Thaddeus' duty again, but he might get suspicious. But then again, Isundra brought up the idea that she thinks he might want to help. I just don't want to risk him blowing it all for us, you know?
Oh, speaking of Thaddeus, I had a great conversation with him. He went to go see a play or a show before bed. You know, he did put in a good word for us with Emon Vanelis. Yes, he is Emon's friend, but I think Thaddeus has a good head on his shoulders. But about this party, I mean, if we have to go to find this vampire or whatever, I guess I can go, but I do not know the customs around the masquerade. I don't think we have such a thing in the Shy. Not that I can think of. When you say
Well-
nobles, how are we going to get in? Are you?
Well, there's some are nobles and some are commoners. That's what's interesting. As long as we've got some money, they can get us in. I think we'll be able to make ourselves look the part. More noble than we are, anyway. Wouldn't be the first time we've done it.
Is this what you wanted to do, Alaric? Is this the information you needed?
Yes, this should lead us closer to helping the people here.
I will agree, this is definitely not what I was expecting. I thought I was gonna have to fight some dudes in an alley, but this is
I
fine
assumed
too.
it was gonna happen too.
So if we have to dress in costume, we have to get costume.
Yeah,
What
I've
kind
got
of-
some stuff, but I
what
think
kind of-
definitely think like nice tailored wear is gonna be the move for this.
So we all have to get costume.
Probably. But for now, we can't talk about it around Thaddeus until we've really decided that we're gonna tell him. We'll see how this job with Xandos goes. And then on the way back, if we decide we want him to go, we'll tell him. Deal?
This is deal. We can do this.
Yeah. Yeah, what could go wrong? We've lied before.
Meanwhile, Thaddeus, you're on your way to the show. It's going on 8:45. It's a pretty late show. The show is in the Commoners District still. As you're walking the streets, there's far less people walking. There's still a decent amount, but far less than during the daytime hours. Make me a perception check as you're just walking.
Oh my god, he's gonna get jumped by a vampire.
Oh god. I'm not gonna take him to the squirrel right there.
Oh,
Oh
sad.
lord. Oh.
We're gonna have to go save it.
no.
They're gonna feast on him at the soiree.
Oh my god. So you have a 7 on your perception, and
He's a little drunker than he thought.
yeah, a little bit. Alaric, I also noticed you rolled a perception. Did you mean to do that?
No, I clicked it by accident. Sorry.
Okay. So as you're walking through the Commoners District, Thaddeus, 7, you don't catch on to this at all, but you walk by an alleyway that is incredibly dark. Now, as a paladin, I think you have like senses, right? Do you have something that gives you like senses of things around you, like that's passive, or do you have to like cast an aura or something to do that?
Hang on. I am checking.
The reason I'm asking is I want to know if you catch on to this or not.
I don't think I do.
Okay, so you don't catch on to it with your perception of 7. As you walk by a alleyway in the dark, there's much less people the longer you're walking, but in the alleyway to your left, there is a shadow, more so a fog, that's creeping in this alleyway. And you don't necessarily notice it, but within this dark, foggy alleyway, which is an odd thing to see, despite the fact there's not any fog around you on the streets or in the sky or anywhere else near you other than this alleyway, there are 2 boots that are being dragged into this dark fog next to you. And red eyes glare at you from the alleyway, and there's a low hiss that slowly backs away from the entrance of the alleyway, watching the paladin walk by. You're unaware of what just happened, but I'll leave it at that. And we will end this episode of Taverns and Caverns there.
It's close to home.
Damn.
Sorry, Rod. I mean, they snuck a while. You didn't catch
Oh
it.
no, it's fine.
They snuck away from yo ass. But you got some intel. There is a masquerade you potentially can attend to. And Kendall in the chat was like, this really did become Interview with the Vampire. I don't know yet. We'll see. Does that show start off with a masquerade? I don't know. I know there's like a ball episode.
There is a masquerade, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Is Isundra gonna get dressed up in like a forest dress or something?
I don't know. We'll see what she can afford.
I mean, you rocking 4,000 gold.
I was gonna say. If
yeah,
anything,
but
You forget that Thaddeus' family doesn't own a boutique.
They do.
Damn. Yeah, we might have to tell them.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there may not be any vampires.
What if the Desones? What if it's the Desones?
The Desones took over that manor. That's where ADR ran off to?
They're charging rent for these parties. They're trying to restore the Desone name.
Well, we'll find out. And was it a vampire in the alleyway? I don't know. We will see.
Red eyes?
We shall see. Well, Alaric, you got some intel that you wanted to find, so we'll see where this leads you. Your little side quest here for the vampires. Will the masquerade known as the Scarlet Soiree lead you to a group of vampires, or will it just be another masquerade that's harmless? We don't know.
Things are rarely heartless on this podcast.
What lies in the middle of the Ashenbrook Manor? We will find out soon.
Damien's about to go off in that masquerade, though. Drinking, partying, dressed up.
Better be careful.
Yeah, I need to see an NPC I know there. But they got their mask on, so I can't be 100% sure it's them.
Right, exactly. You don't know.
Like, that's Grasha.
Grasha. Avirus might show up. You
hovering over the hors d'oeuvres. Ooh. Oh my gosh, what if we see Emon Vanelis there and we're supposed to be doing some shit for him? Now we gotta fucking run.
Hey, you never know. You never know. But so you guys got it. So we'll see what happens here in the next few episodes of Taverns and Caverns if you guys do find some vampires. But first, you'll have to find that research facility and see what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we will see.
Yeah, I need my weapons.
Get your masks and dresses and
I need my new weapon before I go to Xandos.
Well, that's gonna be a couple days. You won't get that till after the research facility. I mean, it's only been a few hours since you saw Barsora.
Goodness. Right, bitch. She need to hire some underlings.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, we'll see if you find any NPCs at the masquerade. I don't know. Maybe.
I hope Rogar's there. The mask.
Rosar.
Rosar.
How did you know it's me?
Oh, hello. It
The
is
mask
me.
cannot hide my big muscles. Yeah.
But we will find out. So, Alaric, you might be getting the party into some shit that might cause some issues. I don't know.
Well,
vampires are no joke. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I feel like being a
challenge
Twilight
ratings-
cleric, I should be prepared for this type of fight too.
I mean, yes, it would make sense.
Can vampire spawn turn you into a vampire though?
No. So,
Yeah.
so in D&D 5th edition, it's just kind of like Baldur's Gate for those that have played Baldur's Gate 3. So again, you cannot be a vampire unless a vampire turns you into one willingly. So if a vampire kills you with their bite, you will turn into a vampire spawn. And a vampire spawn is forced to listen to their creator, the vampire that created them.
I can't have that. I can't have fucking Napoleon Bonaparte and vampire shit going on. I can't do both.
So you become enslaved by a vampire if you become a vampire spawn. Now, obviously, a vampire spawn is going to gain some of the same benefits that a vampire does. You're still technically a vampire. You just can't turn others into vampires. A spawn cannot create other spawn. And then, obviously, you are never going to be freed from the vampire that turns you unless, one, they are killed. And then if that is the case, you're forever a vampire spawn for the rest of your life. Because the other way to be freed from from being a vampire spawn is two, if the vampire allows you to feed off their blood, which would turn you into your own vampire. So that would free you from their control. But therein lies the issue. Vampires are inherently evil creatures of the night. So in the story of Tyrister here on the continent, in our homebrewed world, vampires were created by the god of corruption, Galleon. So they're, for the most part, pretty fucking evil. So a vampire letting you be a vampire, that's like giving someone power to be a rival. Why would you do that as a vampire? Why would I want you to be...
Because you're lonely, Ryan. God, have you even seen Interview with a Vampire? Jesus.
Well, that's why you have vampire spawn. You're not lonely with them around.
They're not the same.
They're not the same.
Not on your level.
They're not the same type of species as a true vampire.
Damn.
As Lestat would say.
So yeah, there's the difference to your vampire spawn and vampires. So yeah, you can be a vampire spawn, but you can't get turned into a vampire unless, again, the one that turns you allows you to become one.
I can't have that happening to me.
I mean, there potentially is a way...
I'm gonna go crazy. 2 people in my head telling me what to do?
Yes. Yes. 2 people. Hey, maybe Napoleon Bonaparte will protect you from vampirism.
Maybe. That's a big maybe.
Does he like her like that?
He didn't protect me from werewolf.
No,
right.
but werewolf, no one's controlling you. Napoleon's like, that's my person to control, not yours.
He's gonna get jealous.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta fight it, and you gotta give me my vacations back.
Yep. But we'll find out here at the Scarlet Soiree.
Shit.
Well, that's all I got, guys. Good games.
GG.
GG's. And that's where we'll end this episode of Taverns and Caverns. Thank you, everyone, for listening to another exciting episode of Taverns and Caverns. This is your Dungeon Master, HaphazardDM. You can find me on Twitter at HaphazardDM.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's Bri. I play Damien / Desiree, and you can find me on Twitter at Blaze_NBK.
Hi, I'm Felicia, and I play Isundra. You can find me anywhere on the internet at daggertribal.
Hi, I'm Rod or Rodimus, playing Thaddeus. You can find me on Blue Sky at Rodimus83 or Twitter or X at Rodimus7901.
Hey, my name is Kendall, and I play Alaric Silverwind, and you can find me on Twitter at AirDashClubKen.
All right, thank you guys. Those are our players for Taverns and Caverns Season 3. And again, don't forget to check out the Taverns and Caverns Patreon. On our Patreon, you'll find exclusive monthly episodes that are strictly exclusive to our Patreon, as well as some additional content that you won't want to miss. So thanks again, everyone. Until next time on Taverns and Caverns.